Hi guys, this is James Uberti, Desert Cryotherapy again, and today I'm actually in my kitchen before I go to work. And the reason for this is I'm going to discuss step number 2. Step number 2 is basically chemical avoidance. And I know that calories in, calories out are important and lead to obesity, but there's a new epidemic out there. And today I'm going to talk about stop counting calories and start counting chemicals. So toxic chemicals are everywhere. It's in the air, it's in the food, it's in our water supply, personal and household products. Many people assume that chemicals in our food supply, shampoos, detergents, and other consumable type of products have been thoroughly tested and proven to be safe, but the assumption is wrong. In fact, we are exposed day in and day out to over 700,000 different types of toxic chemicals every single day, 365 days a year. In fact, that's not even counting the crazy poisons that our GMO companies are pumping into our food supply. So you ask yourself, okay, well, there's so many chemicals. Why doesn't the FDA do something about it if they're so dangerous? So here's the FDA stance on toxic chemicals in our food and water and air supply. Basically, and I quote, just because a toxic chemical is present doesn't mean that it's harmful in its present state or amount. And that's all well and good. In fact, what they're saying, hey, don't worry about it, I got you, right? So if it doesn't grow a third arm or kill you instantly, the FDA isn't going to get involved of it. And again, there's no regulatory body that says that we're going to control the amount of chemicals on how harmful they are in our cleaning supplies, our skincare products, our hair care products, or any type of consumables such as paint, plastics, BPAs. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. And actually how these chemicals are making us fat, because there's these things called endocrine disruptors. And what they do is they mimic hormone releases from the endocrine system that causes you to gain weight rapidly. The reason why we're in my kitchen today before I go to work is because I want to demonstrate and show you all the things that you can do to eliminate those type of chemicals that actually cause weight, unbeknownst to yourself. These things are called, as we said, obesogen. So there's certain things, I'm going to go over a list here in a second. I'm going to show you firsthand those things that you can do to avoid these obesogens and actually help stimulate more weight loss and keep it from staying on. So being in my kitchen before I went to work, I wanted to show you firsthand the list of obesogens or the endocrine disruptors that are actually causing us to gain weight rapidly here in this country. Most of these chemicals that I'm going to be talking about today have been banned in other European countries, but for some reason the FDA deems them to be safe, even though they don't understand nor do they explain what we call bioaccumulation. Basically, when you take in lots of chemicals, your body stores it and causes havoc down the road, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. So the first offender on the list is any type of milk products or meat products that are not grass-fed. The reason for that is because conventionally grown produce as well as milk and meat are stimulated and fed with soy product, or they're injected with endocrine disruptors to actually make that cow grow larger, faster, quicker. It's the same thing. It's these hormones. So if you're looking for reducing these type of endocrine disruptors or obesogens, look for grass-fed products. Or milk, again, not so good, but look for alternatives like coconut milk, things of that nature, almond milk, because all milks primarily have this endocrine disruptors or these types of things in it. So you want to avoid that. The next thing on the list is, of course, bottled water. And I know that we drink a lot of bottled water, but unfortunately bottled water is treated with this chemical called BPA. And BPA is basically very toxic, and it's been known to cause these disruptions in hormones that cause us to gain weight rapidly. The big offender is bottled water. So if you're buying bottled water, make sure that it says BPA free. What BPA is, it's found in cans, medical devices, cash register receipts, and studies have shown that it's really a big offender of BPA is canned foods like tuna. Because of its high fat content, it converts into the bioaccumulation. The other thing is anything that's acidic in a can. So if it were me, I would just avoid cans altogether. Another thing is any soy products have been very known to be obesogenic in the form of creating these type of endocrine disruptors and hormones and estrogen release that actually produces more and more fat. The other thing on the list is any type of aerosols or any type of perfumes, anything that is carbon based that produces some type of aerosol. This is very, very dangerous and considered to be one of those things that causes a lot of those obesogens. The other offender is the toxic coating that they put on, non-stick type of coating like Teflon on our food and packaging. This one in particular, what you want to do is you want to avoid that. See how it's breaking down a little bit? Those are the toxic chemicals in Teflon that actually cause you to gain weight and cause confusion of estrogen to gain weight. So again, what I would choose as an option is copper or metal or glass type of cookware to avoid that kind of obesogen. So another endocrine disruptor or obesogen is artificial sweeteners, and the biggest offender is aspartame. Now, aspartame has been proven time and time again to cause cancer. It's also been known to prove it's an obesogen that causes disruption amongst your endocrine system as well as your estrogen system that causes you to gain weight. The perfect example is any diet sodas or any sweeteners that have an artificial sweetener in it. So you want to avoid these like the plague, simply because they trick the body into producing more fat. Perfect example, when you drink a diet soda, the inventors of the chemical aspartame hasn't figured out that how do we regulate the percentage of sweetness the body interprets. So for an example, when you drink a diet soda, it's 600 times sweeter than a regular Coke. This is how your body interprets that aspartame or that artificial sweetener. So what the body does is it freaks out and it goes on a path of starting to store fat rapidly because they know that they can't possibly burn that many calories by drinking a Diet Coke. And that's why Diet Cokes and artificial sweeteners causes you to gain more weight, simply because the body interprets it as being very, very sweet and very high in calories. So we're here in my shower as the next offender on the list of causing obesogens. And I know that you're thinking, this guy's crazy. But you do the research, there are basically 2,100 chemicals or contaminants in water, in our tap water today. One of those contaminants is a pesticide called atotran. Basically what it does, it's an endocrine disruptor. The challenge of taking a shower is taking a shower without a water filter is like entering into a toxic gas chamber of toxic chemicals. The reason for that is this thing called a chemical conversion. So it goes from a solid and it converts into a gas. The other toxic pollutions or contaminants in water is chlorine. And so when you're taking a shower, you're warming up your skin, which is the largest organ in your body, and primarily it absorbs everything in a rapid rate when it's warm or heated, as in the case of a shower. So all those chemicals pouring over your body, in fact, there's 1.5 gallons of water every minute of chemicals pouring over your body that your body is absorbing. What makes matters worse is when you do that chemical conversion from a liquid to a gas. In this case, it's steam. And that steam is basically picking up that chlorine and you're breathing it directly into your respiratory system. And what causes that is basically all those heavy metals, those concentration of chemicals are entering into your circulatory system and wreaking havoc on your endocrine and your hormonal system. So taking a shower with a shower filter is highly recommended. So there you have it. I hope I've been helpful in identifying some of those things that you can do in your life that helps avoid these obesogens and these endocrine disruptors that cause you to rapidly gain weight, unexplained weight. So I don't say these things primarily to scare the crap out of you, but I say these things primarily so you'll be aware in 2017 that when you actually go to the grocery store, think, is there another option that doesn't include these toxic ingredients that causes you to gain weight? Again, things that you can do and products that you can buy. It's no wonder that the Honest Company, Jessica Alba's company, that was founded just a couple of years ago, is so successful because people are getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. So for skincare products, cleaning products, hair care products, soaps, bath oils, these are all known chemicals that causes cancer, causes disruption, causes us to be sick, fat, and tired. So do yourself a favor, reach out. Again, don't become a toxic freak. Become a toxic avenger where you're making daily choices in your life. Don't get overwhelmed. One choice at a time. Shower filters, things of that nature, and avoidance of chemicals, and identify and educate yourself. I provide a link up above that I actually go over everything that I talked about here today, and I hope it's been helpful for you to actually shed the weight, feel better, and look better in 2017. Thank you.